What is the role of the insolvency professional going forward? Does it need to adapt to remain relevant today?
Well, as we're hearing a bit of chat out of the ATO that as we come out of the COVID period, they're going to be adopting an empathetic approach to ATO arrears, whatever that might mean, and they're going to have a different emphasis on their collection policies than they might have had pre-COVID. Now, I guess it might sound a bit counterintuitive, but often when there's say an ATO demand or a nasty letter from a creditor in arrears, that can act like a canary in a coal mine, and it can be a catalyst for positive change. Now, without, I guess, and that hasn't been there for the last 2 years, I suppose, in reality, and I guess that's what the message that I'm getting myself out of today's panel discussion is that without that psychological emphasis, if you like, business owners and directors have to be proactive in dealing with and taking ownership of the restructuring, any restructuring needs they might have going forward through coming out of the COVID period. Now, what I'd suggest to deal with that is call it a due diligence or strategic review. I'd probably call it a business or a spring clean of your business. And so basically that is the idea of focusing on some of the challenges that you're going to face and that you're facing now in your business, and where you want to be in 12 to 24 months' time in the medium term. Now, that could be anything. It could be a whole range of issues. It could be managing growth, refinancing, and we've discussed a lot of them today. Or it indeed could be addressing arrears of debt.
So Blair, are you seeing a little bit of a move more towards pre-insolvency advisory?
No, not necessarily. And that what I would say is when you say pre-insolvency, it's probably the insolvency profession as opposed to some of the other participants in that sort of sector, in the past.
So if I just interpret that, are you suggesting not enough people are reaching out before it's too late?
Well, that has always been the case. But as I said, with a less of an emphasis from the ATO, there's going to be a more necessity for people to take ownership themselves.
Yep.
So, and going forward, obviously depending upon the nature of the challenge that you face, it obviously would require the use of trusted advisors and appointing potentially a team of trusted advisors to deal with the challenges, assist in that strategic review process and its implementation. And recently, there's probably been a range of restructuring options that have become available, which don't necessarily involve formal appointment.
Sure.
And I think there's probably a role for the insolvency practitioner earlier on in the corporate life cycle in providing that advisory piece.
Yeah.
So I think I guess in summary, from what I think is the best way forward is for business owners and directors to be strategic and take ownership to future fit their businesses, to take advantage or to meet the challenges, but there's undoubtedly going to be opportunities coming out of the COVID period as well.
Like you said, the
irony. The best, to be able to be in the best position to exploit them, the decisions probably have to be you have to start putting that planning in place now.
Start early, yep.